Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Full Power Son Goku, which, is this Super Saiyan 2? I don't know. It's been so long since I've studied the hairstyles of the different versions. I guess this is Super Saiyan 2, but it looks to me like he doesn't have enough upward spikes to be Super Saiyan 2, and he's just got the one extra one that's not down all the way. It's like up a little bit. I don't know. Is this somewhere in between Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2? I don't know. You guys can let me know. I'm sure someone out there knows more than me about the Saiyan hair. So let me know in the comment section below, please. Okay, so yeah, this is the new version of Goku, which most people are like, yes, finally, we needed more Goku figures. I'm joking, of course. Most of the comments are, not another Goku. Why another Goku? Well, because it's Goku. But this is also the one where people said the face looks really weird. And it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about to where his head would be, not his hair, roughly like 14.5 centimeters, and that's going to make him just about, let's say, 5 5/8 inches, and that is of course not including hair spikage. That's where his skull would be. And okay, so before we go into the review, let's go ahead and do a question of the day. Which version of Goku is your favorite? I'm going to stick with my original answer to that question when I asked it probably years ago at this point. Super Saiyan 3, that's my favorite. I still think it's the best. It's the most badass. I know it's not the strongest technically, but the whole attitude change and everything and it was cool. I liked it the most. All right, you guys can let me know in the comment section below. Okay, let's talk about the aesthetic on this guy. It's bad. It's one of the worst ones ever. Not compared to the original batches, which have some real stinkers, like Super Saiyan 3 stinker. But this one is rough, really rough, and you can probably see it right off. His pants are glossy and shaded with like grayish brown. Ugh, why? He's supposed to look like he's glowing, and his pants look like he's been dipping them in tea or coffee or something. I don't know what's going on here, but it's awful. From here down, we have grayish brown shading, and from here up, we have none. No shading. Why? Why is that a thing? I don't get it. On the back, we have none at all. No shading. But on the fronts of his pants are terrible. That's really, really ugly. It looks really bad, and I can't exaggerate that. It is really, really bad, and also quite glossy. It looks bad. It's the clearish grayish brown that's glossy. But even up here, it's more satin than it should be, I think. It doesn't look great. He's pretty shiny. Not in love with it. But the hair, I will say, I do like a whole bunch. It's a flat yellow paint with shading, and I think it looks really good. That's the way I'd like to see more of the hair done for these guys. I love the flat yellow paint, or flat paint for the hair. I think it's the best look. But again, that's personal preference. So the faces, though, they definitely have a look to them. They're very round, big forehead. They capture a very particular type of drawing that we do see in Dragon Ball Z, but it's not typically like the go-to look for Goku, which is a little bit strange. And I'll show you all the faces when we get to the accessories. I don't hate them. I can definitely see why people don't like them. I don't mind them being in my collection. What I don't like is that the rest of the figure is a big fat stinker from the aesthetics perspective, and also from the articulation perspective in one part, for mine at least, and I'll show you all of that, but we'll get to it. So for now, let's just talk about the aesthetics. There's no shading anywhere except for this. The paints are semi-glossy. Well, it's like close to semi-gloss for the blue. It's not good for this blue. This blue's okay. And then this, I told you, so it's rough. So the hair is a saving grace. The faces are whatever you think about them. The rest is not good. I don't like it. I don't like it at all from an aesthetics perspective. Overall. So yeah, very generous 6 out of 10. The head looks good for what it's supposed to be, but this is rough. So for figure art standards, 6 is not a good rating. For accessories, we have the 2 fist hands that come on the package, 2 instant transmission hands, 2 martial arts pose hands, 2 claw hands, and 2 wide open hands. That's all good. We have the neutral face that comes on in the package. We have the big-eyed smiling face. We have the angry face, and then we have the yelling face. I happen to like these, especially the yelling face and the angry face. I like those a whole bunch. I know why the big-eyed face is a thing. I don't want that. It doesn't really look right to me, but it's pretty dang close to what it should be. So the accessories are fine. That's it, though. Very basic release. I know it's supposed to be. They're not trying to gouge for Goku. They're not like charging a ton and giving us extra accessories, which is probably what maybe they should do. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Second question of the day. How do you feel about getting so many Gokus when they aren't even distinctly unique versions? That's something that I could definitely do with. Like more, like let me have one that's clearly Super Saiyan 2. Maybe this is, and I'm just not remembering correctly, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't have like any of that blue aura. It doesn't have any of it, like whitish blue. You know what I'm talking about, the lightning. No blast effects. Like, give us at least a new blast effect with each new Goku. Something like that. That's my take. Let me know how you feel about it. Okay, so accessory-wise, 7 out of 10. It's run-of-the-mill. Nothing special, nothing bad. Okay, articulation-wise, we're still on a little tiny ball hinge for the neck, and it's super stiff to rotate. It's super stiff to lean, and you have to be super careful that you're not going to break it, because it's very, very tiny, which is always the case for these guys, but it's very tiny, and rotating it, even using the hinge part is tough, but rotating it is very tough. So be super careful. The neck is still on a ball peg, minimal range. I don't know, at this point I'm thinking they could just do away with the neck articulation for most of these figures, because most of the time it doesn't work all that well. And I do think maybe his neck's a bit long. Ugh, get in there, that's what she said. There we go. Yeah, maybe his neck's, nah, it might be long. Okay, for the shoulders, we have our ball peg on top of a butterfly, which is still ugly. The butterfly should not be skin colored. That doesn't make sense. That there's clothing, flesh, clothing. That's pretty ridiculous, and you really don't get much out of that butterfly. I know these are the 2.0 bodies, but I think it's time for a 3. When it comes to the shoulders, this isn't good. It's not a good design. It separates here when you raise the arm out to the side. You don't get good lateral movement. It's outdated at this point. The butterfly doesn't really serve a purpose, and it doesn't look good. Don't like it. It's fine, it's acceptable, but it doesn't really function all that well. It's time to replace this whole thing. This needs to be a singular, like a tube that's cut at an angle, like a baloney cut for an exhaust pipe that just swivels around in the torso and the arm connects to that. So there's never a gap here. There's never a gap between the sleeve and the torso part. That just rotates and the arm can move inside that. And even if you brought it over far enough, it would still give you better than that for the butterfly joint. So that would work. And it's basically what they've done on some of the Dragon, what are they called? Figuarts kits. So anyway, shoulders, ball hinge don't really work that well. This does move, but yeah, it's still just, it's not a good design at this point for this line. Bicep swivel is fine, double jointed elbow is fine. Wrists are on little tiny ball hinges, they work well enough. Torso, it does lean back, it does lean forward. At this point, like, I'm thinking as many Gokus as we're getting, as many bare body type, basic body type figures, it needs to be better. I get that they're recouping their money from all the new molds and things, but also we're not getting good range. Like, he can't lean forward unless it's down here at the hips, which is, I mean, that's okay, but his torso range is just very limited, even once you're extended on that hinge. Side to side is pretty good. Rotation is pretty limited. It is a floating belt, but you're still very limited. For the hips, they go forward all the way. They go back all the way. It does kick them out to the side a little bit. On mine, this leg is loose, like floppy loose. And out to the side, it has some loose spots, but it's not too bad. They do go out to the side pretty far, though, so that's okay. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is fine. Ankles are on double ball pegs, which seem to stick out farther than normal, but you do get better range out of them, but they're very gappy because of that. So I'm not in love with most of this figure. It seems like a big step backwards. This feels like a not Bandai product. It's too gappy, it's too loose, the paints are bad, the articulation doesn't function well enough. You do get a toe hinge, by the way, which is fine, but it's still not even a good toe hinge. You still get the sharp edges that stick out of the bottom, which there's no need for that. This is Bandai we're talking about, and this figure does not represent like the pinnacle of engineering at this price point. We've seen better from this own line. This figure feels so phoned in. I am very disappointed in it, and I'm going to give it only a 6 out of 10 for articulation. Those shoulders, they just don't work well. The torso doesn't really work well. The neck should be a double ball peg. It doesn't work well either. The hips are loose, or at least one of them is. The ankles are gappy. What's happening? This is not a good release. This is one of their worst releases in a long time, and they've been doing really good for a while. Doing really well for a while. I think it's probably a good thing that a lot of people, at least they said they were going to pass on this, and I think they probably dodged a bullet. This is a weak release. The good news is if you did buy it and hate the body, the head does swap to a bunch of the other bodies, and the skin tones should be close enough that you can fudge it, but if yours looks anything like this as far as the paint, or has any of the same articulation issues that mine has, which it should because it's the same plastic, it's not good. I'm going to give this one an overall rating of a generous 6 out of 10. Very disappointed. I don't get it. Like, I get that they're charging less and it's another Goku and it's not like a necessary release, but these are the ones where they should just really nail them. They should be just about perfect because there's nothing new here. I mean, in like the terms of engineering and stuff, they should be able to like really refine these and get them, like, if you're going to buy the same character over and over again, it should be getting better and better. Not like half of them are bad. Well, that's not the case. They're not half bad, but this one is at least. So I'm very disappointed in this, and I'm very curious what you guys think. So let's talk about that in the comment section below. But also, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos occasionally, hopefully back to every day soon. And I do have thousands already on the channel, though, so you can always check those out. And, you know, I'm trying to get them done. I'm trying. I have so many things to do, and I'm moving again, and I'm just trying to get the videos done. Hopefully, we'll be back to every day very soon. But in the meantime, keep collecting.